back to another episode of It's All Light. I'm your host, Natalie Baugh, and tonight my guest is Nathan Noble Thorsen. Nate.
My middle name.
Nate, tell people how we know each other.
Oh man, it would have been Natalie. Like secrets out 20 years. I don't know.
Yeah,
Long
yeah,
time
about 20
since
years.
either middle school or elementary school.
I think elementary school. We go way, way
Elementary.
back.
Yep.
Pretty amazing.
Back to the roots.
And
Yeah.
Nate is a twin, and so I remember him and his brother, Nick and Nate, the Thorsen twins. And yeah, we went to 5th grade together at one charter school, and then 6th through 9th at a different charter school. And then high school? Wait, right? Refresh my memory.
And then high school. Yep.
We
And then
all
high school. From
high
Miss Rico's
school
class until high school.
until senior year when you went to Corner Canyon and I stayed at Alta.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, basically forever. Reconnected with Nick, his twin, a few years back, and then reconnected with Nate. What was it, last year? Sometime?
Something like that. I think it was a
Something
Spartan
like
race.
that.
I saw you like that.
I
Yeah.
ran into him. Okay,
Small
yeah.
world.
Small world. Anyways, I have been pushing him to be on my podcast for a little while though, because if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see his amazing wisdom mustache. Like he's just this wise
Oh,
guy. All these things he can say about life. He's wearing the dopest hat. It says yippee ki and I am here for it.
wow.
So we're gonna just jump right in. And I kind of put him on the spot. My other guest fell through, so he's, do I say giving me a Hail Mary? I don't get football, and I know it's a football reference, but
Oh, the compliments, keep them going. Yeah, from the mustache to the football analogy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, saving grace, whatever you want to call it.
yes,
I like it
so
all.
I'm very grateful he's here, and we get to pick his brain about what he lights up about and just profound life lessons. And we're going to make this a quick episode, and we hope you enjoy it. So, Nathan, Nate, what do you light up about? Rough overview.
You know, that's such a unique question. It is because you can give so many answers. You know, like look at where we live. Like it's pretty tough out in our world today. You know, economic meltdowns, political merry-go-rounds. Like we have icons telling us like our world isn't what it used to be. Our grinds are relentlessly getting tirelessly of our just day to day, our 9 to 5s, and how do we hold ourselves up? And so for me, just get on the motorcycle. That's you got to have an outlet. And most people say you got to have go to the gym, have some friend groups, but those are gonna like leave you. You're gonna have to make new ones along the way. So find something, and for me, it's motorcycling. Get on the bike. You know.
It's one of your
Yep.
passions.
It is one of my passions. Everybody says, listen, when it comes to motorcycles or, being a motorist, it's dangerous. And you're like, yeah, of course it's dangerous. No one can see you. However, life is about risk, and you got to get that fear, intimidation out of your life. You have no choice. How else are you supposed to progress? And why not do it on a motorcycle?
Have you always loved
Why?
motorcycles?
Oh, yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it's bad. Love motorcycling.
Like the 2-year-old on his little fake motorcycle when he was little?
I don't know. Yes, you're on the right track. I'm not sure what they're called, but if you go to all the parents, go to Target or to Walmart, you have those electric cars that your toddlers can ride. We got, my brother and I, we had red motorcycles.
Nice, kind of like
And
dirt
then
bike
throughout the
style.
years, yeah, kind of like dirt bikes. We grew up with those as well. And then, when first thing I did when I was 18 was, of course, get a motorcycle. So I've had the bug for a long time.
And you ride a Harley?
I've ridden a few, but currently I have I have a Harley, got a little Sportster.
Cool.
Yep, little Brock Nation. It is nice. Love it.
Cool.
Yeah. There's so many canyons you can do in Utah, and it's just
I like hear people talk about this passion and get so excited about their motorcycles, and the little wave you do with your hands, almost
you're
like an
so
upside
close.
down peace
It's with your
sign.
left. Yep. It's with your left hand, and you just point to the ground.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
I have never driven a motorcycle. I've been on one maybe like 3 times in my entire life, so like not very often. And like I become like a backpack to whoever's driving and just like hold on for dear
You
life.
know the term backpack. Yes.
But like
Yep.
but like it is amazing, and maybe one day I'll learn how to drive one. But I love that that's one of your passions, and that you like connected it to overcoming fear and like risk, because it is scary. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I would rather jump out of an airplane though. Like that's on my. I think I'm gonna do that for my birthday this year. But maybe it's also go on a motorcycle ride. You know?
You know, it should be everything and all of the things. It
Yeah.
truly should. I mean, when people say, I'm getting sober of X, Y, and Z, you're like, great, that's awesome. But will you replace the negative addictions you have with the good ones? So there's a lot of like avenues to pick. And if you're like me, which sometimes I say, I hope everybody's not. I hope you're not like me. I hope you didn't do the choices I've made. But if you are, I would say, why not face the things that scare you the most head on?
Hmm.
Because that's the only way you're going to conquer them or get over them. And so, the
Hmm.
motorcycle will answer a lot of questions for you. Whether you're going Mach 80 solo, or if you're riding with a group, or if you are trying to like find some sort of connection with like a higher being, you can find that on the road, on the back roads. None of this, you know, freeway action. Just go on the back road. Get lost. Anyway.
Hmm. Cool. I like have never heard someone talk so passionately about this. I'm learning. This is
Oh
cool.
yeah, it is a problem with the motorcycle. When you get the Harley bug or the Kawasaki bug, Indian bug, it doesn't matter. It is you can't stop.
Hmm.
Can't stop.
I had another follow up question, but it left my brain. So we're gonna move on to the next thing. Do you want to share a little bit about your story? You kind of hinted at like, oh, like hopefully you're not like me and
Oh
made the
man.
decisions I made. What do you mean by that?
Oh, I always say that because some people, people always say that, like, girl, you're doing so good. Like, you are you and you are awesome. And then you're always like, yeah, thank you. But I mean, I appreciate those words.
But there's a
You just
but.
don't know, you just don't know where I've been. Right. And so some of those compliments I've had to learn, you got to take them and say, thank you. You're so great. God bless, and move on.
God
Sometimes
bless.
in reality, you're like, listen, I don't know if I deserve that compliment,
Hmm.
because
Well, we're just too
people
hard
just
on
don't know.
ourselves. We all just need to say thank you
Yeah.
and
You
take
just got to
it.
say thank you and move on. But, really the whole drive fear and intimidation out of your life. I mean, I'm using a revenue. Wow, it's late. I'm using an out like a motorcycling to do that.
Right, right.
Where some people are going, oh, how do I not be fearful, or how do I, conquer the things I need to do? And if you don't have an outlet or
Hmm.
like a group of people to do that with, you're going to live the same year, you're going to go through the same problems, and instead of like, accepting, you're just going to point the finger.
Hmm.
So for me, yeah,
Yeah.
motorcycling is an escape route, and I can just face those things I need to face.
So it's like two birds with one stone because it's an escape route, but it's also overcoming a fear.
Yeah, and if you were going to say like, okay, so is motorcycle, is riding a bike, is that fearful? And absolutely it is. You're controlling the bike, but you're not controlling anything around you. I mean, when people are driving around, there's so many distractions, blind spots. You know, you could be a professional motorcyclist, and you're still not going to be seen. So
Hmm.
there is actual tangible fear on the bike, but kind of when you're on the bike, that fear just naturally goes away.
Hmm.
Like, if you excel at something, like if you're running, those who run, but if you're running and you're not good at running, the only thing to do to be a good runner is to learn how to
To
run.
run. Mm-hmm.
Soon enough, the mile becomes two, and then two becomes three, and then next thing you know, within a year or so,
You
your
could run
running
a
is so
marathon
easy, and
too.
you can teach it. Yeah, you can teach it. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of symbolism, I think, that is on the road or behind the handlebars for sure.
I like that. Now I'm just thinking of like, what am I afraid to do? And like what scares me and how can I do it and like overcome those fears? and I feel like there's a quote somewhere that talks about like overcoming fears and finding solace, like because you find solace on your bike, even though that fear is like in a sense attached to it. Maybe that's like
Oh yeah,
maybe like scuba diving. Like that sounds scary to me, but I know so many people who love it, and it's a similar idea. It's a little risky, but like worth the amazement part of it.
absolutely.
Which
One of my things I think this year, I guess like a 2024 mantra or whatever you want to
let's
call it.
go.
I would always say like, listen, assume that I can and maybe I will, because then
Assume.
it's up to you.
Wait. Slow down. Assume that I can, and maybe I will. I just had to give that its moment. Keep
Yeah,
going.
it has to, because like it doesn't really matter what anybody thinks that I'm doing. I mean, maybe to a degree, sure, but like if you're assuming that I can do this and I'm not doing this, then it gives me the opportunity to be like, wait, not only can I do this, but I'm going to do it for me, because everybody already believes that I'm doing it.
Hmm.
So you want to talk about like a support team and, having some things happen in your life, it's like a kind of like a mind game, So yeah, assume that I can and maybe I will.
Oh, I love that. That's a good mantra. Um.
We're calling it that. Usually, there was some sort of, it was something like that. We were writing on Sunday, and somebody said that, and I was like, that is so. I think I said it, poor kid. I think I said it was so dumb, but
Oh.
changing it to mine, because it was just like, wow, that is so much truth to that. So much truth. The only person you're accountable is to yourself, and man, assume that I can and maybe I will. That is like up to you. And so yeah,
Hmm. Right? Isn't that the
crazy.
Yoda quote? Do or do not. There is no try. Right? Something
Oh,
like
there's
that.
no try. Yeah, yeah,
I never
crazy.
like that quote. Always confused me. I'm like, so what is it telling me to do?
You're like,
Like, is it
come on,
telling me
Yoda.
to do it or do not do it? Wait, I really like. There is no try. Does that mean like whatever you do, you either do it or you don't?
That freaking Yoda. Because if we're gonna base all of the wisdom on Yoda here, for all the Star Wars fans, listen, I thought a lesson learned is a lesson taught. So if
Hmm.
Yoda has all the answers, like there's do or try, what happens to the people who try but they don't succeed?
Hmm.
Freaking Yoda, man. I am not a Star Wars fan. I'm going to make a public announcement and say I'm not. I'm not. That's not my.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not for me. It's
nor
not for me.
nor me, but that's
Nor me.
okay. I yeah.
Sorry, Star Wars fans.
But speaking of quotes, I had you prep in like 1 minute time to maybe find some favorite quotes that
Oh,
have helped you in
yeah.
your life, or moving forward you're like, yes, this is a quote that like hits me. Also, I'll link his Instagram because he's always posting awesome reels and like podcast clips and Joe Rogan and all those fun people,
Joe
and
Rogan
I
is
really
the guy. I
appreciate
don't
just the
care what
thoughts.
anybody
They're
says.
like, huh?
No, I didn't cut you. I was going to say, like, little Joe Rogan is awesome. I don't care what anybody says. Love the guy.
I'm trying to get into more of those podcasts. Sometimes it's hard for me to like just focus, I usually go for like the entertainment comedy podcasts cuz that's what I like laugh at. But let's hear what quote you pulled up. I saw you were working on finding one you liked.
Yeah, I found one, and it's just been the same thing, but I've kind of this I don't know spoke with being on a motorcycle. Um, but courage is also wrapped up in everything we've talked about, and courage is being scared but saddling up anyway. That is, people say,
Mhm.
oh, you got to have this to be this, or you got to do this so you can do that, and it's private and it's vague. And so for me, just be scared, you know tap out if you want to tap out, just don't panic whatever you do.
Hmm.
So yeah, courage is being scared but saddling up anyway,
Okay, so
because you gotta bucker up sometimes.
I have a follow-up question with this. This is your preface to the quote, but I'm drawing it out a little bit. My question is like, what about anxiety? Like, I there's a phrase of like do it scared, right? And it's like I'm an opportunist and I was faced with a decision of something I wanted to do in my life, and I was like, "Oh, I really want to do it." And I could have done it, and it could have worked out, but I just was like anxious for like 2 weeks. So then I kind of like boiled it down to, no, maybe this isn't the right move. But I'm like, was that fear stopping me, or was it actually like me trusting my gut? What are your thoughts?
Oh, Nat, that's good. That's good. You know, anxiety, I think, is different and for everybody, and different circumstances, different
Mm-hmm.
perspectives, of course, but also what each person's going or dealing with or trying to decide and make a decision. So for me, it's listen, be scared in the moment, be totally fearful.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't panic. You can be strong, you can be independent, you can make beautiful and remarkable choices, even if it just scares the crap out of you.
Hmm.
And that's okay. I think the thing to add to it is if you're going to regret it, two things will happen when you're deciding a choice. One is it'll be too late and you'll regret that way, or you will regret and say, man, next time, this is what I'm going to do.
Hmm.
There's that two sides of regret where it's like, I'm going to sit and be sad and I didn't make the choice. Or you can say, okay, next time when this opportunity or something along the lines happen this way, I've already made that choice where
Hmm.
I'm going to go this way instead of the way that I did.
I like that. Yeah, luckily for me, like in the aftermath, I think part of me is just like being okay with the unknown. And maybe it was in my life personally, it was a no for this opportunity because who knows the opportunity down the road that might present itself. And if not, then it's just another learning experience. And like you said, maybe the next time it'll fit better in my life, and I'll feel more like it's what I need in the moment. Which it's just so funny though. I'm like, oh, like I don't want to regret the decision, but I'm also like, oh, I wanted it so bad. Did I make the right choice saying no to it? But there's like other factors in line with it too. So I think overall, like I don't feel that pang of regret. Anyways, I'm sorry for this side tangent. It just popped into my
It's
head.
great and
And
it's
I'm
needed. It's
grateful
great and
for
it's
your
needed.
thoughts too. Now to your quote, and we'll end on your quote and your other uplifting takeaway and why should others care. Okay, go.
Um, Geez, why should others care? I think we could start with that one. Is you know when people always say like, "Hey, we're friends or we're acquaintances or whatever," it doesn't matter who the person is. You're going to give your time to somebody. Why not go all in? Why not have that friendship and say, "Listen, we're brothers for life. We're sisters for life. Let's go and let's do this."
Hmm.
And if it's not there, great. It's not there. The other person's going to take in and do that. And I only word it that way because if we got one life, why not just be friends with everybody
Hmm.
and buy a bike and go on a motorcycle ride? That's where I'm going to add my clip into all of this as we're talking about motorcycles and dropping on the roads.
I like it. Um, the quote. What was the quote you found that you wanted
Oh,
to
I got
share?
derailed. I was like, friendship. Oh my gosh, great. No, the quote that I was saying earlier was courage is being scared, but saddling up anyway.
Oh, that was the quote. I'm so.
That was the
I
quote.
think
That's
we're
that's
both a
my that's
little
my
too.
that's my thing. That's what I got. Yeah, that's what I'm
Courage.
providing.
Say it one more time.
Courage is being scared, but saddling up anyway.
Courage is being scared but saddling up anyways. My mind, I'm figuring out my ADHD meds because my mind is tricky at times. But it what I got from that quote too is, oh yeah, Nate and I have a passion of like wanting to go to a ranch and see all these horses, and then my mind like I hear saddle up and I'm like, ooh, let's go ride horses and let's go do this and
Hey,
like
that
yippee
ranch bud
ki
too.
you know.
Caution, that one's real too. Oh man.
I love
Yeah.
that. Well,
Yeah.
this is such a good lesson. I feel like 2 episodes ago, Juliet on the Hey Juliet episode was talking about like her little mantra is like, oh shoot, I'm gonna butcher it, but just like doing things that are externally uncomfortable so you're comfortable internally. And it's kind of like that uncomfortableness is fear and is like where we need to be courageous in our lives. And like I'm trying to pay attention to more of those moments of like, ooh, I'm scared, but like I'm gonna do it anyways, you know? So great topic. I have a
Yeah.
newfound appreciation for motorcycles, and yeah,
Good.
I'm
Just need
excited for warmer weather. I'm sure that's even better for motorcycle riding. So,
it's here. It's happening. Things are you know right around the corner for a lot of people who ride bikes. Watch everybody else on the road, and then I'm going to send you, Natalie, so you can post it on your story
okay.
and for your podcast. But there's a
Okay.
motorcycle ride on April 6th. called The
fun.
Polo Ride by Harley Davidson. So we're going to spread the word on that one.
Cool. And, oh, shoot. Why? I keep losing all my thoughts. If it doesn't come to me in 2 seconds, we're over. Dang it, it's gone. Wow, this is why I need to not record late at night. But I, again, am so grateful you came on the podcast tonight. Everyone, I hope you learned something or were re-sparked with something that you want to work on in your lives. And yeah, Nate, thank you. And any final words as we say goodbye?
Buy a bike. Yep, it's time.
Oh, perfect. Oh, I remember my thought. It was, are you going to be one of those older people with their wives and their bike gang traveling across the U.S. on those big bikes with all their stuff?
Yeah.
But those are like comfortable bikes. You have like speakers and headsets and you can talk to each other. I'm like, whoa.
Yep, that's happening. Yep, that's happening.
I've like always been intrigued by that, like on road trips with my family. So maybe one day. I like don't know where
All the
I'd
cool
want to
guys
go
are
and
on
what
the
I'd want to
bikes. What
see.
can I say? All the guys are on the bikes.
Yeah.
I know.
Anyways, it's a
It's time.
newfound bucket list item. So thank you for spurring that passion in me. And just like your hat, yippee-ki-yay, everybody. Have a great week.
Yippee-ki-yay. Yep.
Thank you, Nate. And we will talk to you all next week. Bye. Bada bing.